Subscribe now to Coin Discovery Old Zone, the home of rare treasures and forgotten histories brought back to life. Today, we journey back to a time when a nation was just beginning to write its own destiny, and a single coin became a silent witness to that birth. It's the story of the 1 Dirham coin from 1973, or, as the coin itself proudly bears, the year 1393 in the Islamic calendar. A small circle of metal that carries the weight of a nation's beginnings, and a collector's dream that today could be worth more than $2 million. When you hold this coin, you aren't just holding silver-colored metal. You're holding the memory of a time when the United Arab Emirates was young, newly united, and ready to step into the modern world. The year was 1973, only 2 years after the founding of the UAE in 1971. The rulers of the 7 Emirates had come together to shape a single identity, and with that unity came a new currency, a new symbol of strength and pride. Before this, people in the region used currencies like the Qatari rial or the Bahraini dinar. But the leaders of the UAE wanted something of their own, something that spoke of independence. And so, the first Dirham coins were minted. Simple, elegant, and powerful in design. The 1 Dirham coin of 1973 was among the earliest. It carried the falcon's head, a proud emblem of heritage, and on the reverse, the Arabic calligraphy of United Arab Emirates and 1 Dirham. The Islamic year 1393 appears alongside 1973, marking the bridge between tradition and modernity. Imagine what life was like then. The oil discoveries were beginning to transform the region. Cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai were still young, their skylines barely scratching the horizon. Men wore the same determination on their faces as they built roads, ports, and schools. The coin in your hand would have passed through the palms of merchants trading dates, pearls, and spices. It would have jingled in the pockets of fishermen, oil workers, and traders, each one helping shape the nation's story. For collectors, the 1973 1 Dirham holds more than monetary worth. It represents the soul of a generation that turned sand into cities. It was among the first national issues struck to establish identity and pride. Many of these coins were used in daily trade and worn down by time. But a few, very few, survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Those coins are now the holy grail for numismatists who understand the rarity of an untouched first mint. Over the years, the UAE Dirham has seen several design changes and minting variations. But the 1973 issue stands apart, not just because it's the first of its kind, but because it was produced during a period of limited mintage. Only select batches were struck, and some of those were reserved for ceremonial or presentation purposes. That's why when one surfaces today in flawless condition, collectors know it's not just a coin, it's a piece of history few will ever touch. Now, let's talk about the metal itself. The early 1 Dirham coins were made from cupronickel, a durable alloy of copper and nickel that resisted corrosion in the harsh Gulf climate. But even with its humble metal composition, the true value of the coin lies in its story. Every scratch tells of markets filled with voices, of trade routes across the desert, of a nation rising with the morning sun. If you happen to find one of these coins in your old collection, pay attention to the details. The 1973 to 1393 coin has distinct Arabic script, with the numerals of the Hijri year beautifully curved. The edges are reeded, and the falcon's head design is sharp and proud. If the strike is clear, the shine untouched, and the minting perfectly preserved, you may be looking at one of the rarest and most valuable dirhams in existence. Collectors across the world are now in a race to find coins from the early years of the UAE. Auction houses in Europe and the Middle East have seen rising bids for coins that were once considered common pocket change. The 1 Dirham of 1973, in its rarest and most immaculate form, has become the crown jewel for collectors of Gulf currency. Some numismatists call it the coin of New Arabia, a name that captures both its heritage and its hope. Every time one of these coins changes hands, it revives memories of that proud moment in 1973 when the nation's identity took form, when the world began to recognize the strength and unity of the Emirates. It's a piece of metal, yes, but it's also a message from the past that whispers of endurance, pride, and vision. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value. What could a small coin like this truly be worth today? For ordinary, worn examples, perhaps just a few dirhams. But the rarest specimen, the untouched, uncirculated 1973 to 1393 1 dirham, the one minted in perfect brilliance, possibly one of the ceremonial issues, has stunned collectors and experts alike. In a recent private valuation, such a coin was estimated to be worth a staggering $2 million. Yes, $2 million, not for its metal, but for its meaning. So the next time you open your old coin box or find a forgotten coin in a drawer, look closely. You may just be holding a silent witness to the birth of a nation, a tiny treasure that has traveled half a century through time to remind you that even the smallest things can carry the greatest stories. And remember, if you love discovering hidden histories and the legends behind rare coins, don't forget to subscribe to Coin Discovery Old Zone, where every coin tells a story worth more than gold.